Hi everybody, Ali Akbarian, your resident road safety expert from Mobility Engineering, back again for another Q&A. Thank you very much for tuning in and sending in those questions. Keep them coming in. And as I always say, please hit that subscribe pillow or button that looks like the pillow somewhere down there. And we'd love your support to get up to that 1,000 subscribers. All right, on to today's question. So today's question is a really good question from our community, talking about using these baby seats and the sizes and the ages, and I've heard about all these different laws and regulations, and when do I put this forward facing, and when do I turn it rearward facing, and when do I go into a capsule, and 6 months and 12 months and 18 months, and all these parents are getting confused. And it can actually be very confusing because there is so many different types of seats and so many different standards and so many different rules. So we're here to explain the shoulder line marker system, because what we have found is out in the real world, rather than remembering all these complicated rules and all these like ages and weights and all of that stuff, there is one thing that you can do and one thing you can learn, which is very simple to learn. It's very self-explanatory, and it also is a common point of communication between everyone. So I can communicate with my kid, I can communicate with the police, I can communicate with fitters. Everybody can be on the same page with this particular system, and it's very easy to move forward and have the right seat and the best safety for your child if you understand this shoulder line dotted marker system. So I'm going to bring the seat closer up and I'm going to explain to you how it works. So every single baby seat that's on the market has what they call dotted shoulder line markers to explain to you the size of your child for when you are in the baby seat and when to come out and when to go to the next categories and so on. So if you come closer to here, this seat here is a convertible seat, and I will talk a little bit quieter as the camera is coming closer to me. So you see here we've got a convertible seat. So this is a rearward facing and a forward facing, and it tells you what to do when. So you would put your child in here, and this is where their shoulders would lie, and it basically tells you must be rear facing when shoulders are below this line. So if my child's shoulders are below this line, that means I must be rear facing. And when I go above this line, I don't have to be rearward facing anymore. I can be forward or I can be rearward, because if I look at the next line, it says must be forward facing when shoulders above this line. So above this line, I have to be forward facing. Below this line, I have to be rearward facing, so I actually have a crossover period between these two, right? So once my shoulders are between here and here, I can be rearward facing, but I can also be forward facing. And we have a video on when to go rearward, and around here is basically if I can have my back support and I can support my own back, then yeah, I'm comfortable to go forward facing, and that's in that window there. And then once I go even further, you can see here, shoulders must be below this line. So that means I cannot have my shoulders above this line. So people say to me, oh, when has my child outgrown this? Bang, once they're above that shoulder line, once their shoulders are above that, away they go. So it's actually very self-explanatory, very easy, but you just need to take a little bit of time, maybe a bit of patience, put your child there, see where their shoulders line up, and then read the dotted line, and then follow the instruction on the dotted line. It says shoulders must be below here, rear facing, shoulders must be below there, forward facing, etc. You follow that, you set up the restraint correctly, and if you're unsure about that, you can always give Mobility Engineering a call. We can help you with that stuff, and help decode which seat you've got in front of you. But in general, that's a very simple self-explanatory way. If you got pulled over by police, and they said, oh, how old is your child? And, how did you figure out that they're supposed to be in that seat? Very easy. You don't even need to know the age of the child. You just say, well, look, police officer, yeah, I can tell you my child is 6 months old, but look, here's the dotted line here, and it says must be below that, and my child's shoulder is below that. So we're all good. And the police will look at that and go, yes, you're all good, and everyone has a good day. So that helps a lot. And also for a fitter, if a fitter is setting up the straps, if they know where the dotted shoulder markers are, then they can also move this and set that up in the correct strap location as well. So really love these dotted shoulder line markers, and I really want people to understand them, and I want to promote the idea of them because they're just a great simple way of making sure that your child is safe, and particularly in that disability community where we've got a lot of people that have various shapes and size of children, people that might be a little bit bigger in age but smaller in size. This really helps kind of get through that muddle of, okay, am I in the right seat or am I not? As long as they meet these dotted lines and they're within this requirement here, we're all good. We're hitting all the safety markers, we're hitting all the legal markers. We're not really going to have any problems when it comes to law enforcement. So I would recommend that we go down that line of understanding this, and that makes things a lot easier. All right, thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for those questions. Keep them coming, and we'll see you next time.